Well. So it looks like we finally have some Dallas Cowboys news that has been shaking down the last couple of days, and I think this may have piqued some people's interest. Yesterday, we had the newly signed Dallas Cowboys Snowden be put on a 3-game suspension, but I'm going to talk to you and tell you why that means absolutely nothing. But the major thing that has come down today, some think it is the wide receiver rankings by ESPN, and we're going to talk about whether or not did ESPN get the wide receiver rankings right as it applies to one CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. But I think there is some bigger news as it applies to George Pickens. So it is now 3:05 Central Time, and George Pickens has yet to be extended. And so it looks like the Dallas Cowboys are sticking to their guns on George Pickens. He is not going to be extended. He's going to play on a franchise tag. And we're going to talk about why this is in this show. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Let's go. Let's go. I got a show for y'all today. This show is jam-packed. Jam-packed with all of the latest Dallas Cowboys news in one place. Let's go. Let's get it. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy hitters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We got a lot of great Cowboys content on this channel and a lot more coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Jam-packed show. I had to leave some of this on the cutting room floor. We'll get into that other stuff tomorrow. But I have a jam-packed show for us today. 8 incredible topics based on the latest Cowboys news. First, did ESPN get the wide receiver rankings right with the Dallas Cowboys, George Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb? Then, we're going to listen to a couple of people talk about why no extension for George Pickens. We're going to listen to an ex-GM talk about it. We're going to listen to listen to ESPN talk about it. Then, I want to bring this story back up again because now that we've hit that July 15th deadline, some things should start moving and shaking starting tomorrow. And I'm still going to ask Cowboys Nation the question again. What do y'all think about Joe Mixon coming to the Dallas Cowboys? Then, we're going to look a little bit at this whole thing about Snowden being suspended. I didn't think it was a big deal yesterday simply because I believe the Dallas Cowboys pretty much already knew this was coming down the pipe. Then, we're going to listen to Mina Kimes, the Mina Kimes Power Ranks. All I'm interested in is where does she have the Dallas Cowboys? And then, I don't know if y'all saw this, Jason Garrett was on the Rich Eisen show. He had a whole lot to say about the Dallas Cowboys. And so, I don't know if you heard it, but you're going to hear it here today. Then, the top 100 players continues to kind of matriculate out. And I think right now there's somewhere between 60 and 70. And a lot of people are losing their minds because Lamar Jackson is in the latest ranking of the top 100 players. But that isn't what I want to talk to the Cowboys fans about. They have released about 4 or 5 rounds of the top 100 players. I'm going to bring to your attention some players that are missing so far from the top 100 players and what that probably means as it pertains to the Dallas Cowboys. And then I'm going to bring you one last topic about Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer has an opportunity to make an incredible list. I'm going to introduce to you some Cowboys coaches who are on the list of the 20 greatest coaches. And could Brian Schottenheimer possibly be on his way to making that list, or how can he make that list? But that's the show for today. You see it right there on the screen. I told you it was jam-packed, and we have a lot to talk about today on Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Hey, 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 let's go. We got a lot of great things to talk about today. Let's get this roll call going. What's up, Thomas Goldring Jr.? Good to see you today. Jeremy Betts, all is well. What is going on? Lord Nova in the building. What's going on? Marvin Mays, what is going on? Terrell Sr., what's going on? Richard Owens, Big Mouse Dog, what is up? Let's go. Renan Zinguini, what up, Renan? 72 Chevelle, what's going on? Jeremy Betts said, what up, family? What up, Demetrius Noel? John Henry, what up? Carl Williams, Michael Towery, what is up? Kendrick Thompson, what's going on? Sky B Faded, what up, Sky B Faded? What's going on, Natalie? Lost in translation, let's go. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today. We'll see who else comes in. But nevertheless, whether it be 100, whether it be 1 or 1,000, we about to talk Cowboys. What's up, Biz Cut? Good to see you. Man, let's get this show on the road. All right. Give yourselves a hand. Best chat on YouTube. So let's get into this discussion today. And the first thing that we are going to talk about is this ESPN ranking. And I mean, boy, they are really getting some people riled up over these ESPN rankings. And the latest wide receiver ranking, it's probably one of the best ones they've had so far. I have to tell you.
Yeah! Here we go!
It's one of the best ones that they've probably had so far. And what makes this one pretty unique is that there is not one Dallas Cowboy on this list. There are 2 Dallas Cowboys on this list. Yeah. There are 2. There are 2 Dallas Cowboys on this list. But I've already looked at the list. And my issue is, I think that the 2 wide receivers, of course, from the Dallas Cowboys who are on the list, I believe they belong on the list. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the list is wrong.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah. I think the rankings are wrong. I mean, I know, people love the Cowboys being in these top 10 rankings, but the ranking is wrong. Dak Prescott was number 6 on the quarterback ranking. Okay, it's cool. People are starting to acknowledge what many of us have already known. But the ranking was wrong. To have Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes? Blasphemy. It should have been Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Dak/Matthew Stafford, however you want to put it, and then Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and whoever else followed after that. But Dak Prescott should have been at least number 3, I dare say number 2. And now we get to the wide receiver portion of this. And we got 2 wide receivers in the top 10. But the rankings, once again, the rankings are wrong. Now, let's read how they came up with this again. The 2026 NFL training camps are on the horizon. And with that in mind, ESPN surveyed league executives, coaches, and scouts to help us rank the top 10 players at 11 different positions. This is the 7th edition of these annual rankings. Here's how it works. Voters gave their own top 10 players at a position. Then we compiled the results and ranked candidates based on the number of top 10 votes. Composite average in dozens of interviews with research and film study help from ESPN NFL analyst Matt Bowen, as well as ESPN research. More than 70 voters submitted a ballot on at least one position, and in many cases, all positions. Additional voting and follow-up calls with those surveyed contributed to placements. This was not a 5-year projection or career achievement award, but meant to answer a simple question. Who are the best players right now? Now, I'm going to tell you something, and this may rub some people the wrong way. I want to capitalize on what they said. Right now. Or right now. They said right now. I'm saying right now. They said right now. It says the NFL's receiver renaissance continues as the sheer depth of elite pass catchers in recent years has elevated the overall game. In fact, this is arguably the league's deepest position overall. Each year in our top 10 series, wide receiver typically features the most players who receive at least one vote. This year, 26 players made that cut. Teams now consider this a premier position, and they pay for it too. Receiver trails only quarterback and edge rushers in pay scale, with the position representing 4 of the top 12 highest paid non-quarterbacks. Unlike last year, when 15 players earned enough votes for top 10 consideration, this year's results were more clear-cut, and 2 first-time recipients are pushing toward the top after massive performances last year. But some things don't change, like 2 former LSU pass catchers battling for supremacy. Here's the full top 10 as voted on by league executives and coaches. Now, watch this part right here. The number 1 wide receiver they say in the league is Jamar Chase. Now, understand, this is right now. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have a problem with them saying right now, Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in the game. I believe that to be true. Jamar Chase is an absolute monster. I mean, it's no denying it. Jamar Chase is a monster. He is a freak of a wide receiver. Can do so many things. He is absolutely incredible. It says here, I'm going to just read some of the highlights. It says here, Chase dominated the voting like it was an unprepared rookie cornerback on an island, earning around 70% of the first place votes, despite finishing 3rd in catches. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This doesn't surprise me. It says he looks different than everybody else with the ball in his hands. Jamar Chase is an absolute monster. Somebody said he's the best I've ever gone against, an NFL coach said. He can break it for 80 yards at any time. Yes, he's absolutely incredible. He's absolutely incredible. He says he showed over the past 2 years or so that he can play inside and outside. A veteran NFL coach said the Bengals moved him around more, and he's gotten better as the ultimate chess piece. Yeah, he is the best wide receiver in the game. I'll give that to him. What up, Jaden Justice? Next, number 2, Justin Jefferson. I'll still say Justin Jefferson is number 2. And I'm going to blame it on his quarterback of why he is not, why his stats are not better. Now, I don't know what Minnesota's going to do, but they're in a situation. They got to get something going. You can't have the second best, and some may even say he's the best wide receiver. You can't have the best wide receiver in the game playing tiddlywinks with quarterbacks. I don't think Kyler Murray is the answer. We'll see what happens with J.J. McCarthy, but I'm sorry, but I know Murray isn't the answer. Who they should have kept was Sam Darnold. Yeah, they should have kept Sam Darnold. But they wanted to roll with J.J. McCarthy. Whoever decided to roll with J.J. McCarthy should be rolled right out of the organization. Right out of the organization. Doesn't make sense the way Sam Darnold was playing. Man, I'd have kept J.J. McCarthy on ice a whole nother year with the way Sam Darnold was playing. But again, Justin Jefferson, just reading a couple of things they said about him, says forget the 50-50 catch. Jefferson can make 20-80 catches. An NFL coordinator said that that catch he made in Buffalo in 2022, I don't think Chase makes that. An NFL coordinator said about Jefferson's incredible one-handed grab while surrounded by several Buffalo defenders. Again, Justin Jefferson, I'm going to give it to him. He's an absolute monster. He is an absolute monster. But now, I'm going to show you where they got this entire thing wrong and where it started going off the rails.
You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Jackson Smith-Njigba is not the third best wide receiver in the game.
You can't handle the truth.
I said it and I'm not taking it back. Jackson Smith-Njigba is not the third best wide receiver in the game. He is not. I watched this man in the Super Bowl get clanked by Gonzalez. Man, they had this dude going off the field with phantom foot issues. Nah, I'm not telling you Jackson Smith-Njigba is not talented. Jackson Smith-Njigba is not the third best wide receiver in the game. Now, I know why they're saying this. He led the league with 1,793 yards. Now, understand something. CeeDee Lamb had a similar year in 2023. And why did CeeDee Lamb have a similar year in 2023? Because the next best wide receiver on the Dallas Cowboys team in 2023 wouldn't even probably be the third wide receiver on other teams in 2023. So it was the Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb show. And so what did we get last year after they traded DK Metcalf to the Pittsburgh Steelers? We got the Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith-Njigba show. That's how he wound up with all of those yards. Now, I believe Cooper Kupp was on the team. Cooper Kupp isn't the same anymore. Everybody knows it. Cooper Kupp isn't the same Cooper Kupp. When Cooper Kupp had that record year, it seemed like it took everything out of Cooper Kupp. He had left. You add that with some injuries, and Cooper Kupp isn't the same. I'm not telling you Jackson Smith-Njigba is not incredible, because Jackson Smith-Njigba is a very talented wide receiver. I just don't think he is the third best wide receiver right now. I don't. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But I don't think Jackson Smith-Njigba is the third best wide receiver in the league right now. And I'm going to tell you something that may surprise some people. Y'all ready for this?
You can't handle the truth.
Puka Nacua all day long over Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'm not taking it back. Yeah, I know. Puka Nacua is nuts off the field. The dude is nuts off the field. Puka Nacua got some problems off the field. But on the field, Puka Nacua, man, this dude is an absolute monster. Puka Nacua is a monster on the field. This dude is almost unstoppable. Puka Nacua is a monster on the field. What's going on, Chanel? Good to see you. What's going on, Brandy? What's going on? There will be blood. What up? Puka Nacua. I'm taking him every single day over Jackson Smith-Njigba. There isn't a day you could get me to take Jackson Smith and Jigba over Puka Nacua. There is no way. There is no way. This is where I say they started going off the rails. I'm giving, man, and I'm telling you something. I'm giving Justin Jefferson the slimmest benefits of the doubt. Because I got Jamar Chase at number 1. And I mean Justin Jefferson at number 2. I mean, you could actually argue Justin Jefferson at number 2. Because I'm telling you right now, we'd have a heated conversation right now if we were talking about Puka Nacua versus Justin Jefferson. Man, I am telling y'all, I don't know where y'all are on Puka Nacua, but you could arguably put Puka Nacua at number 3. Even number 2. I mean, number 2. You could arguably put him at number 2. Puka Nacua is crazy. Look at this. It says 85% of Nacua's votes were within the top 5. He led the NFL with 129 catches. Second most in Ram history behind Kupp. Nacua's 8 career games with at least 150 receiving yards ties an NFL record with Justin Jefferson. Look at this. Strong hands, contact balance, ability to block in the run game, run after the catch, run through the catch, can go get it, can play any spot, and NFL coordinator said complete wide receiver. Him and Chase are the hardest to tackle. I'm telling you right now, I could arguably put Puka Nacua at number 2 right now. Puka Nacua is different, man. He different off the field too, but he different on the field. Puka Nacua is different, man. He's a different type of wide receiver. I'm telling you right now, I would have a hard time if you were giving me the choice between Puka Nacua and Justin Jefferson. Man, we probably about to have a knockdown, drag out argument because I would probably take Puka Nacua. This dude, Puka Nacua, is just a monster. He's a monster, I'm telling you. Shadell said Puka Nacua recorded 1,715 yards during the 2025 NFL season. Impressive performance across 16 games, including 129 receptions and 10 touchdowns. Chanel, he's crazy with it, man. I mean, he's crazy off the field. He crazy with it, man. Whoa, boy. There will be blood, so that's probably why Puka has an edge on the football field. I saw him at the Conor McGregor fight, Raising Cane. That's his issue off the field. But this dude is different on the field. Brandon said the off the field must have affected his ranking. Yeah, I'm with you. Something is up. Something is up, Brandon, because I'm telling you, Puka Nacua, nah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Puka Nacua? They got him at number 4? And let's go to number 5. This is the one that really got me going. This don't make no sense to me. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 5? What? Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 5. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. And the reason why I'm saying stop it, I'm not taking Amon-Ra St. Brown over CD Lamb. I'm not taking Amon-Ra St. Brown over George Pickens. How is Amon-Ra St. Brown at number 5? This is a travesty. There is no way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you he's not talented, because he is. But number 5 on a list where CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens is? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. It says St. Brown's 582 yards after the catch in 2025 were third among all wide receivers. And the Lions wideout is the only player with at least 1,000 receiving yards and 10 touchdown catches in each of his past 3 seasons. He's the only player to record such a streak in Lions franchise history. Only Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson, 4, has more overall. Now, let's think about who Amon-Ra St. Brown has been playing for. And who he's been playing for is Ben Johnson. He didn't play for Ben Johnson last year, but he played for Ben Johnson those other years. And Ben Johnson, of course, master play caller. And so Amon-Ra St. Brown and these other players in that Lions offense were absolutely crazy under Ben Johnson. I'm not telling you that Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't talented, but to say that Amon-Ra St. Brown is number 5? Stop it. Stop the madness. Just pure madness. Now let's get to number 6. Number 6 on the list is none other than the best wide receiver, or I should say the best looking wide receiver in the game, supermodel, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is number 6 on the list. CeeDee Lamb should actually be in front of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hold on a second. Y'all ready for this part? CeeDee Lamb should also be over none other than Jackson Smith and Jigba.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb should be over Jackson Smith and Jigba. Absolutely. CeeDee Lamb should be over Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm not taking Jackson Smith and Jigba over CeeDee Lamb, and I would like to know who these folks are. Who taking Jackson Smith and Jigba over CeeDee Lamb? Who's taking Amon-Ra St. Brown over CeeDee Lamb? I'm sorry. I'm like, hey, right now I'm like Stephen A. Smith. Man, you need to be drug tested. Come on, man. Man, you need to be drug tested. You taking Jackson Smith and Jigba over CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown over CeeDee Lamb. Man, you need to be drug tested. Who are these people, man? Now, I know CeeDee Lamb has been hurt the last couple of seasons. I get it. But last year, even after a high ankle sprain, CeeDee Lamb still had a great season. All things considered, he still had a great season. And so it says here, he dealt with an early season ankle issue and never quite took off, finishing 1,077 yards with 3 touchdowns. Usually an after the catch standout in his 322 yards after the catch were down for his standards too, and his 8 drops, and I'm sure that's where they're doing it. The 8 drops tied for second in the NFL behind Travis Kelce. So I see what they're doing. But even with that, I still say going into the season, I'm taking Lamb over Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm taking Lamb over Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, I'm about to give y'all, if y'all haven't seen this, I'm about to give y'all the most egregious. Are y'all ready for this? The most egregious ranking on the list. The most egregious ranking on the list is none other than George Pickens.
You can't handle the truth.
This is egregious. What? You have George Pickens, who has played with 7 of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL over his first 3 seasons in the league. What? And still put up an average of 18 yards per catch. Gets with Dak Prescott in 1 season. With CeeDee Lamb, by the way, on the other side, and Ryan Flanoy as his 3rd wide receiver, still put up 93 catches, 1,429 yards and 9 touchdowns.
You can't handle the truth.
What? Egregious. Egregious. One of the best I've ever seen at the contested catch. A veteran NFL offensive coach said, there's so much untapped ability there. It's just a consistency issue where his head's at week to week. And they're basing this off what? Pittsburgh? We saw the quarterbacks he played with. I've already shown that many times. This man is playing with some of the worst. These guys have to be the worst quarterbacks in the league. That's who's been his quarterbacks up until he got with Dak Prescott. There is no way that George Pickens, especially if you're talking about right now, there's no way George Pickens can be number 7 on this list. His 10.4 yards per target ranks second in the NFL, and his 2.27 yards after first contact per possession topped all wide receivers with 100 or more targets for his career. Pickens averaged 16 yards per catch. What? Stop it. Stop it. I'm telling y'all right now. I'm telling you right now. George Pickens, right now. Nobody take this the wrong way. Understand what I'm telling you. Right now, based on what they've done last year going into this year, I have CeeDee Lamb over Amon-Ra St. Brown. I have CeeDee Lamb over Jackson Smith and Jigba. I got George Pickens right now. I got him in front of CeeDee Lamb.
You can't handle the truth.
I do. That ain't saying nothing bad about CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's been injured the last couple of seasons, but CeeDee Lamb is still him. But I'm talking about right now. I would take George Pickens right now over CeeDee Lamb. Not on the team, because I'm not taking George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb off the team together. Let's get that part clear. I'm not taking them off the same team. Let's get that part right. But if you're just talking about top 10 rankings right now, from last year into this season, George Pickens is arguably the 3rd best wide receiver in the game right now. Right now, George Pickens, arguably going into this season, is the best wide receiver in the game right now. And after this number 7, I don't even really care. Nico Collins, number 8. A.J. Brown, number 9. I don't know. I probably put A.J. Brown in front of Nico Collins. Devontae Adams is not in the top 10 for me. I'm not putting Devontae Adams in the top 10. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And this right here seems to be based off of respect. I'm not putting Devontae Adams. I got to look a little bit more. But I'm not putting Devontae Adams at number 10. I literally have to look at this list. But for the sake of argument, I see what they're doing. They're doing this out of, okay, Devontae Adams was one of them at once upon a time, still playing at a very high level. All right, let's get a little bit further down here. I didn't even think about this. So these are the honorable mentions, and then I'm gonna go backwards to the top 10. Let me write down this top 10 real quick, because I want to make sure I come back. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna see if I can put together a make-do list. So that was Devontae Adams at number 10, A.J. Brown number 9, and Nico Collins at number 8. Now, let's go to these honorable mentions. Honorable mention, Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors healthy? I'd take him over Devontae Adams, but he's not healthy. Bottom line. Mike Evans, I get it. But I couldn't see him at number 10, but I could see the honorable mention part. Zay Flowers, I could see it, but not top 10. Tyreek Hill. If Tyreek Hill wasn't injured, I would take him over Devontae Adams, but we don't know what he's going to be. Drake London. Solid in most areas. I think he was the one that might have got the deal here recently. Probably not taking him. Jameson Williams. Now, this is a guy I would probably consider taking over Devontae Adams. Also, there's also receiving votes. I think DK Metcalf with the right quarterback could probably be top 10, probably right there at 10. Terry McLaurin, I could see that argument. Garrett Wilson, Devontae Smith, Ladd McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr., Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle, yeah, Chris Olave. If there was somebody that, if you would ask me right now, could take the place of Devontae Adams, it would probably be DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is suffering the same reason that George Pickens suffered in Pittsburgh. Poor quarterback play. Poor quarterback play. DK Metcalf should probably be top 10. Probably right there at 10. Should probably be right there at 10. Don't have the right quarterback. But Devontae Adams, I can put a question mark by Devontae Adams. A.J. Brown on the list. Brandy was number 9. I disagree with their number 9 for A.J. Brown. I would probably put A.J. Brown above Nico Collins. I would put A.J. Brown above Nico Collins. A.J. Brown, for all intents and purposes, A.J. Brown is a nasty wide receiver. I'm telling you this. I don't want us to imagine it, but I'm just going to imagine just for a moment. Imagine if A.J. Brown was playing with Dak Prescott. If A.J. Brown was playing with Dak Prescott with his body make, A.J. Brown would be one of the most dominant wide receivers in the game.
You can't handle the truth.
I'm telling you right now, A.J. Brown with Dak Prescott would be one of the most dangerous wide receivers in the game with that body make. You're talking a big body wide receiver. A.J. Brown would kill it with Dak Prescott. It ain't gonna never happen. It ain't gonna never happen. But A.J. Brown would kill it with Dak Prescott. A.J. Brown is suffering the same way George Pickens did in Pittsburgh. Poor quarterback play. Jalen Hurts, a lot of people are like, how did he get left off the top 10? Easy. They were talking about quarterback play. That's what they were talking about. They were not talking about winning. They were talking about quarterback play. Jalen Hurts can play the game. But when you talk about pure quarterback play, take away his legs. Take away his legs. Now you keep him in the pocket. He's got to read defenses. He's got to make accurate throws time after time after time after time. Jalen Hurts don't make the top 10. Now, if you're talking about winning, Jalen Hurts probably is in the top 10. I mean, he's got a Super Bowl. He's been to 2. If you're talking about Super Bowls and winning, Jalen Hurts gets on the list out of respect. But if you're talking about quarterback play, nah, you're not gonna put him. You're not gonna put him there. You're not gonna put him there. And it's the same thing with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has suffered from poor quarterback play, and so this is why A.J. Brown is down at number 9. But I would take him over Nico Collins. All right, I'm gonna put together a top 10 list of my own real quick, and I'm gonna keep the same list. I'm gonna keep the some of the same people. But I'm going to make a list real quick. I'm going to read y'all's comments, and then I'm going to read my list. I want to go back and read some of y'all comments. And I'm telling you, man, some of this stuff you're probably nitpicking. You know, when you start talking about were these wide receivers, to me, in the top 5. I think you're probably nitpicking in the top 5, but we're going to pick those nits. Yeah, we're going to pick those nits. Yeah, we're going to pick those nits. And I'm going to base this simply off of supposedly what they base theirs off of. Now, I notice that they're saying going into this year. But I also see where even though they're talking about going into this year, y'all not notice that they're talking about a lot of the things these players have done in the past? Yeah. They're talking about some of the things that these players did in the past. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. But I'm going to create a list. I'm creating a list here. I'm going to see. I want to read what some of you guys are saying over here. And I'm going to tell you where I have these wide receivers. Yeah, I'll show you where I have these wide receivers. And I guess I would say too, I mean, like, you know, I don't think nobody's talking about this a lot. I'll say people are not talking about it a lot. But we got to realize something, man. CeeDee Lamb hasn't been healthy the last 2 seasons. CeeDee Lamb hasn't been healthy the last 2 seasons. And I was happy to hear that CeeDee Lamb said this is the best he's felt in 2 years. So hopefully this year, CeeDee Lamb is going to be 100% healthy going into this year. I'm hoping he's going to be 100% healthy. And because I would like to see what it looks like, you know, how do the Cowboys navigate a healthy CeeDee Lamb, a healthy George Pickens, a healthy Ryan Flanoy, a healthy Trigg, a healthy Ferguson, a healthy Turpin. I mean, when you think about the number of weapons that Dak Prescott is going to have going into this year, it's going to be, man. You're talking Dak Prescott. I mean, I really want to know how is Brian Schottenheimer, how's he going to feed all these wide receivers? He got his hands cut. He got his work cut out for him. He definitely got his work cut out for him. All right, so I'm just putting together a make-do list. And even as I'm making this list, very, very conflicted on it. Very conflicted on this list. Some of the things I'm going to pick going to surprise some of y'all. But I'm very conflicted on this list. So it wasn't easy. I see why they're doing everything that they did to come up with this list. And I'm sure some of y'all are going to disagree. I'm not worried about y'all disagreeing. This is all, some of this, it's subjective, but it's objective too. It's objective, but it's subjective too. But if we're being honest on where we are right now, I think all of us should pretty much come somewhere around the same conclusion. Hold on. I got one more player to add at number 10. And at number 10, I'm actually going to put a slash, because I think you could argue that these two players in the top 10 are interchangeable. All right, let me go back up a little bit. I want to see what some of y'all comments are. See if I can run through some of these real quick. What's going on, El Chuco, Freddie Morales? Yeah, Chanel G said not tomorrow, but right now. Yeah, because we're talking about right now. And I think this is what they're talking about for the most part. But I do think they're adding in some things from the past, even if they're not admitting it. Because I'm sure that some of those opinions are based on some things in the past. They're not admitting it. There will be blood. He said, I would love to see the statistics on other receivers had close to the numbers he's put up over his first 4 years, given the quarterbacks he's had. Oh, yeah, George Pickens. Yeah, I've already shown that in the past, man. GP has been a baller for years. And people are not being honest. George Pickens, when you look at the quarterbacks this man has had, George Pickens, I don't think there's anybody in the league. There may be one other wide receiver, the guy for the Jets. Other than him, I don't think there's anybody that's had a worse. I don't think there's anybody that's had a worse quarterback, a worse line of, and I would say George Pickens has had the worst group of quarterbacks. Man, GP has went through some quarterbacks, man. Oh my gosh. Still putting up 16 yards per clip. All right, Big Mouse Dog, CD 1,500 and Plin Plus TDs, GP 1,500. Man, I tell you, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Yeah, Marcus, I got to say it like the old folks, man, right now, I'm telling you. Brandy said 14 touchdowns in 14 games. Boy, that's incredible. Yeah, that'd be incredible. Chanel, let me tell you something. These numbers that you just posted on A.J. Brown, when you think about Jalen Hurts in the season that he had, oh my gosh, these numbers are incredible, man. These are incredible numbers. 78 receptions for 103 receiving yards, 12.9 yards per catch with 7 touchdowns. I'm sorry, but those numbers are absolutely incredible when you're talking about Jalen Hurts. Kobe D, he said this can't go by the season because Jefferson won't be that good. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, Poobie D. I agree with you. Because in actuality, if we're going by last year's numbers going into this year, Poobie D, George Pickens is actually ahead of Justin Jefferson. Absolutely. George Pickens is actually ahead of Justin Jefferson. I mean, we can give him the benefit of the doubt on this. Hey, you know what? Poobie D, hold on a second. Bro, you just changed my mind on something. Poobie D, you just changed my mind, bro. You absolutely did. You just changed my mind on something. Yes, sir. You just changed my mind, bro. Absolutely. You just changed my mind. See, and right here, see, Lamb would be better. And I agree with you, Poobie D. Lamb would be better. And he missed 4 games. Now, Poobie D, you're making some great points. Your best ability is your availability. So if we're going on availability, that means that CD Lamb is not going to be as high as CD Lamb would be in a healthy season. Because we're talking about right now. We're not talking about career achievement. Because if we're talking about career achievement, then CD Lamb is going to have to be 3 or 4. George Pickens' career achievement would probably have to be 5 or 6. But they said they're not talking about that. They're talking about right now. And Quinn, this is the part that nobody's talking about. Quinn, you know how I know what you're saying is true? That CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are the best wide receiver duo in the league. You know how I know what you're saying is true, Quinn? Because Other than the Rams, we're the only team that has 2 wide receivers on the list. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think the Rams deserve to have 2 wide receivers on the list. But okay, we'll go ahead and roll with it. We'll go ahead and roll with it. I see what they're doing. We'll roll with it. I could argue that Devontae Adams shouldn't be on the list. I could make that argument, but I won't make it here. I'm just going to give you I'm going to give you my top 10 list of who I say it is. Marcus Moncherio, what's going on? Baz is in the building. Dominique Pittman in the building. Baz said, I wouldn't go as far as to say the run game would have failed per se. I'd just say we didn't rely heavily on the run game. Can be good or bad, really. Okay. Frank Lawrence, he said, I'm happy about seeing Shotty getting the entire team focused and prepared for the Sunday night football game against the Giants. Yes. As far as ESPN ratings, I have three top receivers: Pickens, CD, Flo, Javonte, Blue, Ferg, Trigg. Cowboys got to have probably the best wide receiver core in the game. I would say that part. All right, let me show y'all's the list that I'm rolling with. The list that I'm rolling with right now. Ron Mack, what is going on, Ron Mack? Good to see you. Let me give you my top 10. Let me give you the top 10 that I'm actually rolling with today. Let me give you my top 10, where I am on this. Let me give you my top 10. Y'all don't have to agree. Poopy D, I ain't mad at you either. You said you take Lamb over all of them. I ain't mad at you. Jaden Justin said only one I'm not taking over Lamb is Chase. He's a beast. Chase is a monster, man. You're right. Iceberg Slim. What up, Iceberg Slim? He said, G, 2 years ago, we was like, CD need help. CD and Pickens with Florida dictate coverage. Yes. So let me give you my rankings. These are my top 10 wide receivers. Looking at what they put together. Let me see here. This is what I'm putting together. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me show you where I am on this. The number 1 wide receiver in the league for me is Jamar Chase. I am giving Jamar Chase the number 1 receiver in the league. At number 2, I'm just talking on the field. Puka Nacua is a different type of animal. If it wasn't for Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua would be number 1. Puka Nacua different. I'm telling y'all right now, Puka Nacua is different. He is a different type of animal. He crazy off the field and he crazy on the field. I'm telling you, he both of them. He both of them. Puka Nacua is crazy. I'm just telling you. But on the field, I'm telling you. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I'm telling y'all, Puka Nacua is different. He's just different. When you see him on the field, Puka Nacua is different. I'm going to throw this up here and go a little bit back and forth as I talk about this. But Puka Nacua is different, guys. This is the rankings from last year. Look who's right there. Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is a monster. This is last year because again, we got to understand, this is right now. This isn't over the last 4 or 5 years. They said this is going into right now. And if we're going into right now, all things considered, Puka Nacua, he's number 2. And I'm not just looking at these stats. I'm talking about when I look at this man on the field. I watched some of the Rams games, and Puka Nacua, he different out there. Puka Nacua is different out there. And when you look at Jackson Smith-Njigba's numbers, Puka Nacua, man, they are neck and neck. They are neck and neck, man. Absolutely, they are neck and neck in so many categories. Puka Nacua is, I mean, you could argue. If you were just saying right now, you could say based on what you're showing on the screen, Puka Nacua is number one. I'm still taking Jamar Chase. I'm taking Jamar Chase because I'm figuring in something that maybe they're not figuring in. I'm going to figure in who's playing with these wide receivers, who's the quarterback, who's the wide receiver opposite of them. I'm going to figure some of those things in. And this is what makes Puka Nacua so great. He's playing with Devontae Adams. Yeah. He's playing with Devontae Adams. And he is putting up monster numbers. Now, I'm going to show you why I got George Pickens at number 3. This is right now. This isn't a career achievement. CeeDee Lamb has not been healthy over the last 2 seasons. That doesn't mean that CeeDee Lamb isn't an absolute monster. And if we were talking about career achievement, we're going to have CeeDee Lamb higher than George Pickens. But if we're talking about right now, I want us to consider this. It's the same thing I'm considering with Puka Nacua. And this is why on my list, I'm taking points from Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'm taking points from Jackson Smith-Njigba because he's having a similar season to what he had a similar season to what CeeDee Lamb had in 2023. CeeDee Lamb had he didn't have a second wide receiver. It was 2023 that really made us started crying about CeeDee Lamb needs a running mate because he didn't have a running mate. Jackson Smith-Njigba didn't really have a running mate. So Sam Darnold just said Jackson Smith-Njigba a bust. I'm going to take some points away from him. And this is why I'm moving Puka Nacua and George Pickens over Jackson Smith-Njigba because I don't think people are understanding how incredible it is what George Pickens did. First year with the Dallas Cowboys, playing alongside CeeDee Lamb, playing alongside Ryan Flanoy, playing alongside Kevontae Turpin, playing alongside Jake Ferguson. When you look at the weapons the Cowboys have, and when you look at what George Pickens did, I'm talking about right now. George Pickens was incredible last year. He was incredible last year. George Pickens, not career-wise, man, George Pickens was better than CeeDee Lamb last year. I'm considering all circumstances. I'm considering injuries. I'm considering everything. George Pickens was better than CeeDee Lamb last year. And so if you're talking about right now, going into this year, George Pickens should be number 3 on this list. I mean, bare minimum. George Pickens is number 3 on this list. George Pickens is number 3. Absolutely. George Pickens right now is number 3. Puka Nacua right now is number 2. Jamar Chase. I still give Jamar Chase number 1. I still give Jamar Chase number 1. And I give Jamar Chase number 1 too. Think about this. Jamar Chase is also playing in a very different situation. Again, let me just give us common sense here. I'm sorry, Jamar Chase is playing in a different situation. He's playing in a different situation than Jackson Smith-Njigba. Jamar Chase, the other wide receiver that is playing with him is none other than who? T. Higgins. Yeah. 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 He's playing with T. Higgins. He's also playing with one of the worst offensive lines in football. I mean, there are some factors that you have to figure in here when you start putting together this list. And this is why I'm still going to give Jamar Chase number 1. I'm going to give Puka Nacua number 2. Poobie D changed my mind. I'm putting George Pickens at number 3 over Justin Jefferson. I am. I'm putting him over Justin Jefferson. I'm putting him over Justin Jefferson. I am. Now, the only reason why I'm going to keep Justin Jefferson at number 4 right now, the reason why I'm going to keep Justin Jefferson at number 4, I'm going to keep Justin Jefferson at number 4 simply because he's had very poor quarterback play this year, but he still did pretty good. I'm going to keep Justin Jefferson where he is with poor quarterback play. Poor quarterback play. And then at number 5, I got CeeDee Lamb. Right now. CeeDee Lamb with injuries. And CeeDee Lamb still put up 1,000 yards. And it is incredible when you think about CeeDee Lamb with the games that he missed. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me count this off again. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And think about this. This is absolutely incredible when you think about CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb still placed number 11 on the list. He placed number 11 on the list being injured. And for that reason, I moved CeeDee Lamb to number 5. That's why I have CeeDee Lamb at number 5. Because CeeDee Lamb, even after being injured, only 75 catches, still better than Jameson Williams, still better than Nico Collins, still better than Chris Olave, Zay Flowers, Trey McBride. I still say better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's still better than them going into next season right now. We're talking right now. We're not talking about career achievements. We're talking about right now. So going into right now, I give CeeDee Lamb number 5. And then at number 6, I am going to put Jackson Smith in Jigba. I am going to put Jackson Smith in Jigba. Jackson Smith in Jigba is an incredible wide receiver. I just don't think, based on what I've seen looking at the game, man, let me tell you something. What they said about George Pickens, I don't think some of us are quite comprehending. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying this just as a matter of a figure of speech. I don't think people are catching on to this one part right here. Let me read this one part. There is one part of this thing they said about George Pickens that you need to focus in on. This is the part you need to hone in on. Someone said, one of the best I've ever seen at the contested catch. But that isn't what I want you to see. It's this next part. There's such untapped ability there. This is what makes CeeDee Lamb incredible. And I know some of us over here in Dallas, CeeDee Lamb has been here. We by default, we want CeeDee Lamb to be the number 1 receiver on this team. And I understand all the things that people want to say in this situation. But if we just take CeeDee Lamb has been here for 5 years, and we just take that out of the equation and just go by what we see, what we saw, and what we are seeing. I'm going to show you this list again. Y'all ready for this? I'm going to show you this list again. There are only 3 wide receivers on this list that I can say right now, when we're looking at this list, not the list of the top 10, because the top 10, it's even worse. But when I look at this list right here, there are only 2 receivers, maybe 3. There are only 2 receivers in my mind, though, that we can really say this about. And none of them we can say it more than George Pickens. And I'm going to start right here. Let me move over here to this list. So when we go to this list, right here, let's go to this list. So is there anyone else that can look at Jamar Chase and say, hey, yeah, Jamar Chase, I don't even think they've scratched the surface on Jamar Chase. Nobody's going to say that pretty much about Jamar Chase. We've seen what Jamar Chase is. He's a monster. No one's going to say that about Justin Jefferson. We pretty much know Justin Jefferson, with the right quarterback, is a monster. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think there may be some people out there saying that Jackson Smith and Jigba, that maybe there's some more that maybe we can see. But I really think a lot of people may think that Jackson Smith and Jigba may have outperformed what a lot of people thought he was actually capable of. Let's go to number 4, Puka Nacua. You can look at Puka Nacua and say, man, you know what? I don't even think we've seen the best of this guy yet. He's only 25. You can look at Puka Nacua and say, I don't think we've seen the best of this guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think we've seen the best of Amon-Ra St. Brown. CeeDee Lamb. This isn't saying that CeeDee Lamb isn't great, but I think most of us pretty much know what CeeDee Lamb is. Smooth, deceptively fast, great route runner, inside, outside. Had some issues with some drops, in particular against the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think most of us pretty much know what CeeDee Lamb is. And then there's this player right here, George Pickens. Nobody knows what this man is. Nobody knows what he is. When you look at George Pickens, 6'3" frame, 200 plus yards, deceptively fast, underutilized, even at 1,400 yards, underutilized by the Cowboys. Relegated him to a slant route and a go route, but mostly a slant route. And we know he can actually run the route tree. He can run the route tree. Tackle breaker, contested catches. I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry, because I'm glad he's on the Dallas Cowboys along with CeeDee Lamb at the same time. Nobody knows what George Pickens is, other than that he's an absolute monster. When we look at George Pickens, I guarantee you so many of these scouts and these coaches, they're all saying the same thing. Haven't even scratched the surface on this guy's ability. Bottom line. Haven't even scratched the surface on this guy's ability. We get 1 year with a great quarterback and this is what he did? What? This is one of the reasons why I'm glad the Cowboys got George Pickens. He is a part of the Super Bowl equation. And as good as Alvin Harper was, especially with Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper wasn't this. Alvin Harper was not this. George Pickens is a different type of animal. And I'm telling you he is. I'm telling you he is. He's a different type of animal, man. This dude is different. He's a different type of animal. We're talking about CeeDee Lamb as in career achievement. But when you look at George Pickens, Nah, man, you're looking at something different. Untapped potential. And he still got 1,429 yards. Still 9 touchdowns. This dude, George Pickens, is different. And let's just think about how much CeeDee Lamb, if they try to do what they did to the Cowboys last year, CeeDee Lamb should have an absolutely incredible year coming back this year. Simply because, y'all ready for this part? How insane is it? For as good as a lot of us are saying CeeDee Lamb is, tell me this isn't crazy. That teams had a game plan for the Dallas Cowboys when both CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens was healthy. We would rather double George Pickens and put CeeDee Lamb one-on-one. What? What are they telling you?
You can't handle the truth.
What are they telling you? What are they telling you when they're saying we would rather put Pickens double covered over the top and underneath and let CeeDee Lamb, who is a run after the catch monster, we would rather go one-on-one with CeeDee Lamb because we're going to put 2 people on George Pickens. What are they telling you? I'm telling you, man. People don't understand how good man. I know Cowboys fans, we love CeeDee Lamb. Yes, I do too. We want both of these receivers. This is actually what we wanted. And it's funny to me. I'm going to tell you how sometimes people can be. They want us to have another wide receiver. Yeah, we want CeeDee Lamb to have another wide receiver. Oh, but you want it how you want it, right? You want a wide receiver that's not as good as CeeDee Lamb. You do realize that was the problem, right? Some folk didn't want a wide receiver as good as CeeDee Lamb, and dare I say, better than CeeDee Lamb. But in order for CeeDee Lamb to truly eat, guess what? You actually needed George Pickens. You needed a receiver that could be better than CeeDee Lamb if given the opportunity.
You can't handle the truth.
That's it. That's it. You needed a wide receiver that was better or had the potential to be better than CeeDee Lamb. Because if you don't, CeeDee Lamb's still not going to be able to do what we need him to do. We're talking red now. Poopy D, he said they put the top corner on Lamb. G, he not better, though. I think he is right now, Poopy D. I don't think he's been better in his career. I think right now, George Pickens, right now, George Pickens is on his way to being the best wide receiver in this game. He's got that kind of untapped potential. Again, I challenge you, Poopy D. You know what CeeDee Lamb is. Tell me what George Pickens is. Tell me what he is. None of us know what George Pickens fully is yet. This dude did this on slant routes and go routes. Slant routes and jump balls. And when they did let him take CeeDee Lamb's spot, and when he was running the same routes as CeeDee Lamb along with Ryan Flanoy, George Pickens was still eating. He was still eating. People may not realize this. Poopy D, I'm going to come right back at you. George Pickens ate without CD. He ate without him. Absolutely. He ate without George Pickens. He ate without CeeDee Lamb. With Ryan Flanoy. What I'm telling us is this is exactly what we needed. Anything less than CeeDee Lamb, some folks are not looking at this the way I'm looking at it. If you don't have somebody who is as good as CeeDee Lamb and has the potential to be better than CeeDee Lamb, it don't work. It don't work. Because the way I'm going to face you now is easy. It's different. You know what, man? Just double CeeDee Lamb and then that other wide receiver. No big deal. We can put our best wide receiver, we can put our best corner on him, or we can double him and put our best corner on CeeDee Lamb. You can't do that with George Pickens. George Pickens gives the Cowboys options that nobody understands. That nobody understands. You had to have a wide receiver that was as good as and can be better than given the opportunity. Because if you don't, it don't work. Anything less than CeeDee Lamb and Ryan Flournoy don't work. It don't work. It don't work. And again, Poobie D, I'm not telling you CeeDee Lamb, hey, CeeDee Lamb top 5. You already see it on the list. No, I'm not telling you CeeDee Lamb is not great. I'm not telling you that CeeDee Lamb has an 8. I'm not telling you any of the things that you may be saying about CeeDee Lamb isn't true. But I also want us to acknowledge the truth of what we're seeing. George Pickens is incredible. And some of us in Cowboys Nation are reluctant to say these things because we don't want to say that George Pickens is better than CeeDee Lamb. I don't think we necessarily have to have that argument. I'm just saying right now, because that's what these lists are based on. Right now, George Pickens is better than CeeDee Lamb right now. It don't mean he'll be better than CeeDee Lamb after the year is over with. Because if CeeDee Lamb stays healthy, he's going to be Dak Prescott's probably number 1 target. So we should see CeeDee Lamb have a better year than even George Pickens. But if we're talking right now, George Pickens, this isn't even about CeeDee Lamb. And this is the point that I'm making. This isn't even about CeeDee Lamb. Right now, George Pickens is the 3rd best wide receiver in the game. Right now. Right now. I'm not talking about 5-year achievements. I'm not talking about 2023. We all know what CeeDee Lamb did in 2023. I'm not talking about 2023. I'm talking about right now, coming off of 2025, what he did in 2025, going into this training camp. Right now, George Pickens is the 3rd best wide receiver in the game. Justin Jefferson, number 4. CeeDee Lamb, number 5. I'll give Jackson Smith and Jigba, number 6. I'll give A.J. Brown, number 7, because he played with Jalen Hurts. I believe A.J. Brown is probably number 7, could actually scoot above Jackson Smith and Jigba if he was the number 1 target of Sam Darnold. I got a strange feeling A.J. Brown with the Patriots, when we come back and look at these types of lists next year, A.J. Brown will be higher on that list because he'll have a quarterback that's going to say A.J. Brown a bust. The same way Jackson Smith and Jigba did. It's going to be A.J. Brown a bust. Number 8, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm not really mad at that. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Nico Collins, number 9, underrated because also C.J. Stroud has been awful over the last 2 to 3 seasons. And then when I get to number 10, I'm struggling with Devontae Adams and DK Metcalf. I'm struggling. Because I believe that Metcalf, all things equal, Metcalf with the Rams, where Adams is in his career right now. And this is why I have to keep saying, this isn't a career achievement award. Devontae Adams in his prime, I'm taking Devontae Adams all day long over Metcalf. But we're talking about right now. Metcalf, all things equal, I would probably take Metcalf over Devontae Adams. I really would. I would take Metcalf over Devontae Adams. He's a freak of a wide receiver. I would take DK Metcalf over Adams. I would. You said, how's Jefferson over, you said, Poobie D, you said, how is Jefferson better right now than Lamb? Because when I look at the quarterback situation and what Justin Jefferson was able to do, we're not talking about career achievement, because even if we were talking about career achievement, we probably would still be saying that Justin Jefferson is better. But when we just kind of look at the quarterback situation that Justin Jefferson played up under, man, I'm sorry, Poopy D. But when we look at the quarterback situation that Justin Jefferson played up under, I got to give Justin Jefferson a little bit more leeway than that. J.J. McCarthy's awful, man. I'm sorry, he's awful. He's awful, man. He's awful. And even with CeeDee Lamb, now I got to even say with CeeDee Lamb. Let's think about it, Poopy D. I'm just talking this past season, coming into this season. And CeeDee Lamb actually benefited from George Pickens. He benefited. Pickens benefited from him too when he played, but we saw a long period last season where Pickens played without Lamb. Yeah, I'm going to give Justin Jefferson the nod just ever so slightly right now over CeeDee Lamb. Quarterback play hurt this man bad. I'm sorry. J.J. McCarthy was awful, man. He's awful. Jason T. Slice, he said, I feel like Dallas players always get slighted in some way, shape, or form, but Dak and those wide receivers don't care. Yeah, they'll ball. We still have 4. And I'll tell you this. I don't think we could have asked for a better scenario. And if you ask CeeDee Lamb, I bet you he would tell you the same thing. You couldn't have asked for a better scenario. The Dallas Cowboys actually have 2 wide receivers in ESPN's top 10. And in my top 10, which counts for nothing, but in my top 10, we have 2 top 5 receivers. Can you ask for anything more? Can you ask for anything more? We got 2 top 5 receivers. We have the best wide receiver duo in the game. And I'm glad. I am glad. George Pickens is a Super Bowl move. George Pickens is a Super Bowl move. Absolutely. And a lot of people aren't acknowledging this. George Pickens. I got news for all of us. We were not going to the Super Bowl with CeeDee Lamb only. When we got to the playoffs, it was going to be simple. The same way the Green Bay Packers did us and the same way teams started doing us. Double team CeeDee Lamb and whoever else, take your chances one-on-one. I think Ryan Flournoy is good enough now, though, that he can beat third cornerbacks. But the big question is, how much can he beat number 2 cornerbacks? And I think we kind of saw some of it this year. Ryan Flournoy, when CeeDee Lamb was out, he played number 2. He beat some of those number 2 cornerbacks. But nevertheless, when you start talking about Super Bowls, I don't think people understand. This is a dream scenario. A dream scenario. We have a wide receiver on this team. Let me just tell you how insane this is. I'm just glad we can have the argument. I'm just glad we can have the argument that CeeDee Lamb is better than George Pickens or George Pickens is better than CeeDee Lamb. I'm glad we can have the argument. What? Man, do people not realize how blessed we are? We have 2 wide receivers, unequivocally, that if one of them went down, the other one can still toe the line. I'm glad. I don't know about anybody else. I'm glad. It don't bother me if somebody says that George Pickens is better than CeeDee Lamb. It actually don't bother me. Because the only thing I'm going to say is we got both of them. Yeah, we got both of them. We got both of them. We got the best wide receiver duo. If there's one thing this list proved, just like Jabril Quinn said, we have the best wide receiver duo in the game, bar none. There's nobody close. The Rams aren't even close. We have the best wide receiver duo in the game. And I was I have to admit, very disappointed today. I'm going to move on to our next topic. I'll be honest with you. Holding out hope. Very disappointed.
Yes! Here we go!
Very disappointed that George Pickens didn't get the extension. Very disappointed. The Cowboys need George Pickens. Bottom line, they need him. They need him. Cowboys need George Pickens. I don't care what anyone says. They need George Pickens. You don't let go of a wide receiver like George Pickens. George Pickens is the reason why this Dallas Cowboys run game is so potent. We're running out of 11 personnel. Do we not understand how insane it is that Javonte Williams got all the yards he got out of 11 personnel? But when you got CeeDee Lamb, and we already had CeeDee Lamb, but when you add George Pickens into that equation, what is a team going to do? What are they going to do when you got George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb? Are they just going to go one-on-one? Are they going to load up the box and stop Javonte Williams? Man, you want to talk about pressure? The Dallas Cowboys apply extreme pressure on teams. They apply extreme pressure. How do you defend the Dallas Cowboys? We had some teams last year that kind of figured it out in Brian Schottenheimer's first season. But now with the emergence of Ryan Flanoy, and now you're going to add Michael Trigg into the equation, I just got to wonder, how are you going to stop this team? If Shotty really opens up this game plan the way that he's supposed to, how do you stop this team? This offense should actually be unstoppable. It should be unstoppable. Now that you've added Michael Trigg, now you got, again, Ryan Flanoy emerging as one of the best third wide receivers in the game. And I'm hoping Michael Trigg I'm telling you, I hope he pushed Jake Ferguson to the point of Jake Ferguson playing at a level we've never seen Jake Ferguson play at before. I hope Michael Trigg pushes him to that level. How do you game plan for all this? How do you game plan? And that's going to be the biggest issue. And I'm sorry, Iceberg Slim, I forgot. Don't even let me forget this. Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa. You add those two to the equation. How do you face this team? How do you face it? George Pickens is a key to a Super Bowl for the Cowboys. George Pickens changes so many things. He takes a great offense and should this season help transform it into an unstoppable offense. I want to take us to some more things about George Pickens. I got a few quick hits on George Pickens. So many things I've been seeing this past week. And I'm so happy for George Pickens. George Pickens have a successful year this year. If George Pickens has a successful year this year, there's going to be so many things that George Pickens is going to receive the year after. And I think he's going to get an extension from the Cowboys next year, not this year. But George Pickens has defied all the odds. Let me show you what impressed me. A lot of people, they look at all of these things in football, and I understand that football is the main thing. But let me show you this. Look at this. Boy, this is the kind of stuff that just brings a tear to your eye. This is George Pickens. George Pickens giving back to young athletes at his football camp in Austin, Texas. For George Pickens to take the time out of being a superstar wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, took the time out, had the football camp, and just giving back to the kids. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love this stuff. You cannot put a price on this kind of stuff, man. Can't put a price on it. You can't put a price on it. And I believe that Dallas is the perfect place for George Pickens. I believe it's the perfect place. I don't think there's anywhere else that George Pickens needs to be but Dallas. And I hope he's already told his agent this. There's no better place for George Pickens. Also, George Pickens, let me show you another place where this is total disrespect. And they got to change this. Look at this right here. Man, this right here. Did y'all see George Pickens' Madden rating? What? Stop it. George Pickens received an 88 overall Madden rating? Stop it. Stop it. There is no way that George Pickens should have a rating of 88 on John Madden football. There's no way. Yes, sir, Poopy D. Hey, I know we agree, bro. We agree. We may not agree in the same way, but we agree. We glad we got CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I'm glad we can have the argument, Poopy D. That's why I'm not going to argue hard with anybody about George Pickens being better than CeeDee Lamb or CeeDee Lamb being better than George Pickens. I'm not going to argue about it because the only thing I'm going to tell you is we got both of them. Yeah, we got both of them, Poopy D. So why we mad at each other? We ain't finna be mad at each other. But again, man, this is crazy that we got this man at an 88. What? Stop it. This is crazy. Marvin say, don't stop us now. There will be blood. He said, imagine Andy Reid had this offense. Oh, my gosh. They'd have to call the law on Andy Reid. Sean McVay, too. Sean McVay, too. They'd have to call the law on him. Kyle Shanahan, too. They'd have to call the police on Kyle Shanahan with this offense. Now, as we get towards the end of our show, I think Brian Schottenheimer has an opportunity to be in the conversation of one of the best play callers in the league. He has an opportunity. Because he's got a great offense. He has a great opportunity. He does. He has a great opportunity. Yeah, this bull junk right here, Bass. This is straight bull junk. How you gonna have George Pickens at an 88, man? Come on, man. What up, Mark Vasquez? Man, Brandon, do you play Madden? Even Brandon said he should be at a 95. Come on, man. This is so disrespectful to have George Pickens at a 95. Praise Cowboys. I didn't see what you said here. You said you taking the place of JCT Slice. Man, I'm telling you, man. Boy, this is crazy. Frank Lawrence, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. Jerry didn't extend George Pickens. They got a plan to extend him, I believe. There's no way they're going to let him go. But I was really hoping that they were going to extend George Pickens today. I really was. Yeah, Bass, you're right. You can't stop them all, man. Gregory Davis said Dak throws less for 5,000. He might throw for less than 5,000. I wouldn't be surprised. I think he'll get close, but, man, 5,000 is a monumental feat. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, when I saw this on George Pickens, I said, boy, they ought to stop this stuff. Yeah, as Matt said, G, just for fun, if you could keep only GP or CD, who do you pick? Okay. Matt, let me tell you where I am on this. Is this before or after the Super Bowl? See, Matt, is this before or after the Super Bowl? Because I'm going to be honest with you right now. I don't even want to imagine a world where both of them are not playing on this team. I don't even want to imagine that world. I don't want to imagine one of them not being here. I don't want to imagine. I don't. I'm just so elated right now that the Cowboys have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Man, I'm telling you, I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm on cloud 9 to have 2 wide receivers of this caliber. Just on cloud 9. Yeah, man, I can't do it, man. I'm struggling. But again, man, they got George Pickens. Man, they got my man George Pickens at number 8, man. Got my man at number 8. Come on, man. Just crazy. Man, Mark Vasquez, man. 95 at least. I'm with you and Brandy. At least a 95. I was thinking more like a 99. Man, like a cheat code, man. Y'all remember back in the day we used to play Contra? And it was up, down, left, right, whatever it was. Man, George Pickens ought to have a cheat code on that joint, man. George Pickens ought to have a cheat code on that joint. It's crazy. Man, it's so disrespectful, man. I'm telling you, man. So disrespectful. All right, let's continue on with our George Pickens discussion. So now we have some stories. I've seen 2 stories today already. And they're giving explanations. I don't know if y'all have seen these. They're giving explanations on why the Dallas Cowboys didn't extend George Pickens. And let me show you this real quick. I was so glad that this turned out to be nothing. Boy, people were ready to turn this into something. Boy, they were ready to turn this into something. They were ready to run with this. Nothing to run with. George Pickens just being cool. Nothing to run with. Nothing to run with. Bass said OSOG is one of those that spams the buttons when he loses them. Man, I don't even play Madden, but I'm going to get a copy this year. I'm going to get a copy of Madden. Man, Madden has been so bad to me over the years. I hate that they stopped letting what's those guys who makes NBA the NBA game. I want them 2K Sports. I want them to let them make a football game too. You gotta have competition. Gotta have competition. Quinn said they knew if they gave GP his true overall people would only play Dallas in the game. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Boss Dog said, who knows this code, G? Who know this? Oh, who know this code? What code is that too, bro? What code is that too? Yeah, thankfully, Cowboys Nation, this actually turned out to be nothing. This turned out to be a big nothing burger. So now I'm going to let you hear a couple of people. They're going to give an explanation of what they say. Why George Pickens didn't get the extension from the Dallas Cowboys. Let me switch to the right profile so we don't have to worry about no commercials. Why George Pickens? Oh, Punch Out. Man, you know what? I got a Nintendo Switch, man. I think I'm gonna get that online pass so I can play Punch Out. Man, Punch Out was the game back in the day. All right, Cowboys Nation. This is, they're saying, why George Pickens didn't get extended. This is over here on CBS Sports.
Pickens, Cowboys applied the tag to the wide receiver early this spring. Today's the deadline to negotiate and finalize a long-term contract. No agreement, then Pickens going to play on the tag, which is just over $27 million for next season. Let's talk about it with Rand Carthon, co-host of With the First Pick podcast, our NFL analyst and resident general manager for us. Rand, so let's talk about Pickens with this deadline here, because those other guys that either got the transition tag or tag, I'm talking about Daniel Jones, Kyle Pitts, Breece Hall, they got deals. Why aren't we getting the same thing when it comes to George Pickens, you think?
Well, I think this starts with a couple different caveats, Tommy T. I mean, we've seen where the Dallas Cowboys as a whole, as an organization, have typically dragged their feet to get these extensions done with their high-end players. We were in this same juncture this time last year with Michael Parsons and wondering if they were going to be able to get something done, and we ultimately saw how that was going to end. But this one here comes with another caveat, was the fact that they traded for George Pickens from Pittsburgh, a player that they got last year that they didn't really know coming into the year. So you always felt like he was going to have to prove himself to them on more than 1 year. Why? Because, coming into last year, it's easy for anybody to be on their best behavior for 1 year. I'm sure Dallas Cowboy organization, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, wanted to see if they could see not only the production on the field, but him being a model citizen off the field for at least another year.
It's interesting you bring up that second caveat, Rand, because by all accounts, he's been a good player and teammate, showing up to all the things, planning to be there. We know about holdouts and hold-ins like that. What does that tell you, if anything, about being sort of that model citizen / player teammate?
Well, I think from one perspective, Tommy T, when it comes to him showing up to everything, well, he should want to, right? Because he doesn't want to incur any fines, because now, per the NFL CBA, it used to be back in the day, if a player missed X amount of days because he was holding out, the team could forgive those fines that the player had picked up. But now they can no longer do that. So I'm sure George Pickens and his super agent, David Mulugeta, aren't in the business of giving money back to the Dallas Cowboys or any organization for that matter.
Okay, I didn't know that part. I did not know that part. Sure didn't. What up, Michael Postel? Yeah, GP working out with Dak. Yeah, he got a real quarterback now. 805 bus stop, he said, in Brian, we trust. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm hoping that he does what he did in Seattle, because that second year he opened it up. What up, Michael Lee? There will be blood. He said, what you know about them 2K in the bed? Boy, there will be blood, man. I was a huge fan of 2K, man. Boy, I was so mad when they stopped them from making football games. Boy, I don't know what to do. Man, you got to have competition, man. You got to have competition, boy. And 2K was on their way. They really were. Queen, my sister, what up, Queen? What up, Mr. Get Dirty? Michael Postel, I can agree with you. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to go ham this year. If he stays healthy, man, he should have a crazy, crazy season. Yeah, because I think they're going to really exploit. If teams try to double George this year, I think they're really going to exploit that. Yeah, that 7-second Dreamcast days, man. Yeah. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Lawrence said, Mia, they sure don't want us to have Pickens. They speculate and don't know crap. Yeah, I was really hoping he was going to get that extension today, man. I was really hoping he was going to get that extension today. Didn't happen, so George just got to keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. But I didn't know they couldn't forgive these fines, so, which I don't think that's the motivation for George showing up. I don't think that's the motivation.
But then me mentioning,
yeah, Bass, you ain't, boy, Bass, you ain't lying, boy. Bass said there was no way Pickens was ever working out with Mason Rudolph, Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett, but he out here with Dak, though. Yeah, boy, you ain't lying. Boy, it was never working out, bro.
David Mulugeta. David Mulugeta being the agent, and he's one of the best agents in the game. I just want to remind the folks out there that David Mulugeta also represents Micah Parsons, and we saw where that went. And I don't necessarily think that this is a David Mulugeta thing. We've seen Jerry Jones basically want to deal more directly with the player than players' agents, and we know with David being one of the best, he's not going to allow that to happen.
So I mentioned that tag number 27.3. Now, we have seen an instance like Saquon Barkley a few years ago get a couple million extra. Anything new would only be to this current year, Rand. What are the chances you think there's anything there, or is it pretty much standard at 27.3, you think?
Well, I'll say this much. I don't think 27.3 is going to be the number for George Pickens to get a deal done. I'm sure at one point that was seen as the floor. We've seen some other deals. We've seen Christian Watson get paid, and I think he's in the 30s. And I do believe that George Pickens is a much better player than Christian Watkins, a more consistent player than Christian Watson has shown himself to be. So I think George Pickens is going to hit, that first number is definitely going to start with a 3. The issue that the Dallas Cowboys are going to have is how close does it flirt with CeeDee Lamb's number? And if that number even eclipses CeeDee Lamb's number, which, you know, if you're the agency that's representing George Pickens, that's not your concern in terms of how that's going to mesh with CeeDee Lamb. Is maximizing the maximum value for your player. So I know that first number is probably going to start with a 3. It's just how close is it going to get to CeeDee Lamb?
Well, CeeDee Lamb has already made it clear he doesn't care if George gets paid more than him. He's already made that clear. I think he's expecting it in the grand scheme of things. He's probably expecting it because, typically, it's like next man up sometimes with these contracts. But I think it would also mean that, maybe CeeDee Lamb would probably get some kind of extension too once they work this out with George Pickens. I think what we're going to see, because we may not realize this, but we have two contracts that actually need to be done. Quinnen Williams, this is the last year, if I'm not mistaken. Quinnen Williams is playing on the last year of the guaranteed money on the contract. This is the last year of the guaranteed money. So I got a feeling that we're going to see probably Quinnen Williams. We're probably going to see Quinnen Williams and George Pickens get done next year. I think we're going to see both of them get done next year. So those will be the two big contracts they're going to do in the offseason. And when you think about George Pickens, now what really starts to change the George Pickens narrative as far as the pay goes, if they franchise tag George Pickens again, you're talking about $60 million over 2 seasons, which would literally put him, if you just do a 2-year average, that would actually put him in the top, I think maybe top 5, top 7 paid wide receivers. But the only caveat to that is, while those franchise tags are cool, you get the, $27 million this year, and then another $32 million, you would literally get that next year. The only problem with that is you don't have any guarantees beyond that season. And you are still going to have to put yourself at risk again, even though it's more money. You're still going to have to put yourself at risk. And, what happens after that? But again, I think we're going to see George Pickens and Quinnen Williams get extended next year. And I'm going to give you another surprise. I think you're going to see Dak Prescott get extended next year. I think you're going to see Dak Prescott get extended. And I got a strange feeling that Dak Prescott is going to give the Cowboys some kind of discount. He's going to give them some kind of discount because he'll be in, year 12. It'll be some kind of discount, maybe 2 extra years, some kind of discount, more void years. And I think the Cowboys are going to ride this into, because y'all might not remember, but I asked you last week. I said, what is the Brian Schottenheimer window? Well, that window is basically tied to Dak Prescott. I think it's kind of like a 4-year deal, something like that, 4 or 5-year deal. But I really think what they're going to do is they're going to give Brian Schottenheimer 5 full years to do this. And I believe that Dak Prescott is going to be a part of those 5 full years. I think they're going to extend him 2 more years, which will take Dak Prescott into 2030, extend George Pickens, which will take him into about 2030. They'll probably add a couple of more years on CD, take him into 2030. Quinnen Williams will probably get a 3-4 year extension that'll take him somewhere around 2030. And I believe they're going to try to give this the Jimmy Johnson window. Jimmy Johnson didn't win the first Super Bowl until the 4th season and the 5th season. I think Brian is going to be on the accelerated plan. I still say they're going to contend for it this year. But if they don't get it this year, rather than it being 4th and 5th year for Brian, because he already had a lot of pieces in place, I think they're going to be vying for year 3 and 4 and possibly 5 with Brian Schottenheimer and Dak Prescott. I told y'all when they got Brian Schottenheimer, we're about to watch the Dallas Cowboys go on a ferocious chase for the Super Bowl. It starts this year. They are about to start a ferocious chase for the Super Bowl. They're going for it. I don't care what anyone says. They're going for it. They are going for the Super Bowl in the next 3 seasons. They want it this year. They're saying right now, why not us? They want it this year. And I'm not going to be surprised. I only see 2 teams that stands in the way of the Cowboys. The Rams and the Seahawks. Not worried about the Eagles. I'm not worried about the Packers. I can't think of another team that I'm worried about other than the Rams, because it looks like Sam Donald. I mean, I'm sorry. It looks like Aaron Donald. Look like he's coming out of retirement. He's coming out. He's coming out of retirement. He's going to play. He's going to play with the Rams. I can see it. You can see he worked out at the facility. Want to see how it felt. He's coming out of retirement. The Cowboys are going to make a ferocious push for the Super Bowl too. You watch what I tell you. They're going to make a ferocious push for the Super Bowl. They're going to see if they can get there this year. They're going to probably add 1 or 2 more players. I see them adding 1 or 2 more players, could possibly be 3. They're going to add 1 or 2 more players. I even see them doing something at the trade deadline. And when they see how close they get after this season, if they don't get there this season, they will make that final push next coming off season. Contract extensions, and they're going to get another player. And I believe they'll get another big name player. Somebody who they think, okay, I think they're trying to get themselves to where, okay, are we 1 player away? And when they see that they're at that 1 player away, they're going to get that 1 player. And I think that situation will arise next year. These players we got last year, they should be playing. They should be a lot better. The rookies this year, they'll be a year in the hole. They'll be better. Then next year you say, hey, now we are 1 player away. If we didn't get it in 2026, we're getting it in 2027, and we're going to get that 1 player that is truly going to come in here, and he's going to help us push us over the top, 1 or 2 players. I think this is where they are. George Pickens is a part of the Cowboys Super Bowl run. Book it. Book it. He's a part of the Super Bowl run. They're not letting him go. His extension will come after this season.
That's interesting that you talked about sort of what projected number he could certainly get. And as you, as a front office executive and former GM, what would sort of constitute that? Because everyone wants to think numbers and the statistics that he's going to have to maybe hit that benchmark. Are there other sort of ancillary variable things that would certainly get Pickens closer to that number?
Yeah, I mean, outside of the production, right, you look at the production, that's the easy variable to put in there that you're going to measure from a data point standpoint. But also you're going to look at impact. What type of impact is this guy going to have on your team? If you're another team, let's just say this was on the open market, would George Pickens be that team's #1 wide receiver? What are #1 wide receivers making on the open market now? And so those are all things that you're going to factor in. And then it will always come up is off the field. What are we getting with this player off the field? Is this player going to be a concern? Do we need to build in certain roster bonuses, let's say, for various things if he's not available to us? Are we going to have to build in caveats for ourselves in the event this guy is suspended or he misses time? All those things are going to factor in terms of how you're going to structure the deal. But ultimately, the #1 thing is going to come down to is production and then also the impact that player is expected to have on your team.
You and I talked about it during the season last year. It was really the Bengals and the Cowboys with really bad defenses. I feel like Dallas at the trade deadline helped that a little bit. Rand, where are you at as of today, given everything they've done since then?
I mean, they've drastically improved this defense as a whole. And
I'm sorry, you're going to be better than this. Yeah, you're going to be better than this, Cowboys. Yeah, we're going to be better than this, Cowboys. Last points per game, 30th in yards per game, last in pass yards per game, last in third down percentage per game. I'm sorry, I think we're going to be better than this right here, man. I really do. I think we're going to be better than this. I think we're going to be better than this, man. I really do. JTX made what up? He said, I think they paid Parker a good penny also because I seen an interview with Darius Slay where he said Well, he said he asked Parker why he chose the Cowboys because he came from the Eagles, and he said it was the money. Yeah. Yeah, Postel, you agree with the plan. Bass said that he'll been talking to Aaron Donald like the Green Goblin man spoke to Norman. Aaron hearing them voices in his head, that's why he tested the practice. Yeah, man. I don't think he wants to play a full season, but we'll see. Michael Lee, he said, gee, when we get it, the haters won't say we had an easy schedule. Yeah, even though everybody said it's a hard schedule. We're going to see what it look like after this year. Yeah, I want that. I want Jordan Brooks. I think they're going to circle the block on him, too. We're going to see what happens. It's about to get interesting. Iceberg Slim said, I don't think they trading Pickens. I don't either. They're keeping him. I don't think they are either. Appreciate your real deal. Yes, sir. I will not be surprised, Mike Postel. Dak wins his first MVP. 805. Oh, I agree. Yeah, those players are already here to start the dynasty. Yeah. I think we'll make a Charles Haley move next year, though. I will not be surprised we make a Charles Haley move next year. And I'm going to tell you the player that I'm not going to be surprised if the Cowboys wind up with on this roster, and I don't think it's going to be a trade for George Pickens. I'm not going to be surprised if Max Crosby winds up on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to be surprised. I don't think it'll be this year. I think the Raiders and Max Crosby are on a one-year contract. Even if they're not saying it, I think they're on a one-year contract. I'm not sure what that relationship is over there, but it seems to be a little bit weird. It seems to be a little bit weird over there. So we're gonna see what happens.
It's amazing some of the work that they've done. I mean, I'm looking at it now, Tommy T. You have Pro Bowlers, up front. You have Pro Bowlers in the secondary. Now, the one area that they're going to have to get a little bit more production out of is going to be that off-the-ball linebacker spot. And they've traded San Francisco to get Dean Winters to add to that group, and so that's going to help them. But then we're sitting here looking at this graphic. These two guys are expected to have the biggest impact for Dallas Cowboys, which really is going to help that pass rush in bringing over Malachi Lawrence, the rookie out of UCF, and then one of my favorite players in the entire draft class, Caleb Downs. I'm very interested, Tommy, to see how they plan to use Caleb Downs. I believe right now they have him penciled in as the nickel. Caleb Downs is a can do it all safety, but I think in order for them to get the most out of Caleb Downs, although yes, he can play nickel, I think he needs to be back deep in the post and being able to rock and roll, and that's basically moving safeties up and down based on the strength. But I think he can do it all. The more he's on the field, the better that Dallas Cowboys defense is going to be.
That's why I like you, Rand. You already answered my follow-up. I was like, what's his best position? And you already answered that. I appreciate you as always. When it comes to this team, as you and I are sitting here mid-July, they're behind the Eagles to win the division, 22-1 to win the Super Bowl here. What are your thoughts on a potential run here for Dallas?
Y'all watch what I tell you. The Super Bowl odds of the Eagles being in front of the Cowboys, that will change somewhere around week 7 or 8. That's going to change. I think they're doing the same thing they did to the Commanders. The Commanders had that 1 year in Jaden Daniels' rookie season, and the next year they came back and was like, yeah, they're going to contend for the Super Bowl. They were trash last year. I think we're watching the decline of the Philadelphia Eagles. How can anyone expect the Philadelphia Eagles to be better? And you traded A.J. Brown? You really think a rookie is going to come in and replace A.J. Brown in the first season? Stop it. It's pure comedy. It's pure comedy. And Philly thinks that Devontae Smith, as small as he is, can take the place of A.J. Brown. I'm telling you what they're going to try to do. I believe they're going to try to be a run heavy like they've pretty much been. I think they're going to try to be even more run heavy. I think the Eagles are going to try to turn themselves into a power run team. There is no way that you get rid of a receiver like A.J. Brown. And you really think he's going to come in and just stop it. This is comedy. It's pure comedy. It's pure comedy for anybody to think they're going to be as competitive without A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, watch what I tell you. He will get the last laugh on this. Iceberg Slim says C.D. Lamb is Superman, Pickens is Black Adam. I like it. I'll take it, Iceberg Slim. Shoot, I'll take it, bro. Quinn said, I said it before, I said it again. I think we can beat the Rams. I do too. Bass, he said, this is what I was telling you, G, the entire time after they traded A.J. Brown. I said, Smitty and Lemon are not in, and they're not enough for this division as competitive as it is. I agree with you, Bass. It's crazy that they literally think they're going to get rid of A.J. Brown and they're going to be as competitive? Stop it. Jason Farley, what up? Anthony Jefferson, what up? I believe so, too. I mean, unless Jalen Hurts take them to a Super Bowl this year, I think they're going to move on. And the reason why they're going to move on, Anthony Jefferson, is that people have figured out he can't throw against cover 2. He refuses to throw in tight windows. And if you're going to play in this league, the way these defenses are playing now, you better throw in tight windows like Dak or you're not going to make it. There will be blood, he said. Nick Saban said Caleb will be the most beneficial at safety versus nickel most of the time due to his range. And I think he will be playing safety. Cowboys can't run 3-4 all day. They just can't do it. Yeah, they just can't do it. Yep, Anthony Jefferson, they moved on from Carson Wentz. Yeah. Kelvin, he said A.J. Brown was not the problem. I agree. Jalen Hurts is the problem. I agree. He's not a quarterback, but it will show this year. A.J. gone. Lil Smith ain't going to be able to take them there. Ain't going to be able to take them hits. I agree with you. And that's why, a lot of people said that Jalen Hurts got disrespected by being left out of the top 10. I didn't think he was. They were talking about quarterback play. They were not talking about wins. They were not talking about career achievements. Jalen Hurts reminds me of that quarterback when we played in like middle school and you didn't throw the ball a lot. Jalen Hurts reminds me of that quarterback that you knew why he was playing quarterback. It wasn't because he was necessarily the best quarterback, but because he was the best runner or the second best runner on the team. Jalen Hurts reminds me of that quarterback. It doesn't mean that Jalen Hurts can't make throws, because he'll make some throws that'll make your head spin sometimes, and you'll go, did he throw that? He can make some of those throws. But they figured him out, man. They figured him out with that cover 2. He can't do it. He can't throw against it. Just bottom line. Yeah, Baz, Lemon and Smitty are more over the middle, in between the numbers type guys. Yeah, Hurts ain't gonna do that. That's what you got to do against that cover 2. You gotta get in, throw it in the middle, seams and things like that where Dak specializes. He doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it. So yeah, they got Hollywood Brown and dude from Green Bay. Yeah, they ain't A.J. Brown though, Poopy D. We gonna see though. But they ain't A.J. Brown. I think they really undervalued A.J. Brown. I really do.
I'll say this, Tommy, if Dak stays healthy, this is a playoff team.
Yeah.
And I say this every time I mention Dak. Please remind me why everyone hates Dak Prescott so much. It doesn't make sense to me because the guy's he's played some really good ball for them. I think the way Shotty is calling this offense and the way Shotty has built this thing around Dak and his abilities, I think this is a playoff team because they have fixed this defense. I recently did a ranking in terms of all the divisions, and I did have the Cowboys as the second best team in the NFC East. But I fully expect Dallas Cowboys to push the Philadelphia Eagles for that top spot and also push them to potentially win the NFC East this year.
So playoff team, but not a Super Bowl title contending team like our colleague Pete Prisco thinks, right?
Well, I mean, I very rarely.
Sorry, but I don't think this schedule is as hard as everybody said it was before. I don't think this schedule is as hard as everybody thought it was. I don't. If this Cowboys defense is average, they're going to win I got a feeling that by the time the Cowboys see the Eagles and you look at the first 6 weeks, the first 6 games, I'm not going to be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys are 4-2. I'm not going to be surprised. I wouldn't even be surprised if they're 5-1. And if they're 6-0, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. But you're going to see if the Cowboys stay healthy and the closer we get to the beginning of the season, I think we're all going to start seeing scenarios where the Cowboys, the only two teams on this Cowboys schedule, well, 3 teams, let me say 4. There may be really only 4 teams on this Cowboys schedule that's hard. 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, and I'm going to throw the Jaguars in there. I think they win 5 or 6 in the division. I would not be surprised if they run right through these first 6 games. All of these teams they're going to be playing, they all got issues. They all got issues. They're on the decline and the Cowboys are on the incline. I wouldn't be surprised. This schedule is not as hard as people thought it was. And I've been saying this. We'll see how everybody else start changing their tune later on. Everybody else keeps talking about how hard this schedule is. I already told y'all, after looking at the way they arranged this schedule, when you look at the dates and when they're playing these teams, man, they have set the Cowboys up for a Super Bowl run. The Cowboys are going to get so much rest in December. They're going to be able to get healed up before they play the Seahawks. They'll be able to get healed up before they play the Rams. They are going to get so much rest. This is literally a Super Bowl run in December. It's a playoff run, Super Bowl run. Man, the Cowboys are going to have so much time in between some of these big games. And some of them are going to be at home too. They have set the Cowboys up to succeed. I'm just telling us. For as hard as everybody said this schedule was going to be, I'm going to see if they're singing that same tune by midseason. I don't think this schedule is as hard as everybody said it is. I think the Cowboys are going to shock a lot of people, and they're going to beat a lot of these teams that people don't think they were going to beat. You watch what I tell you. Health, staying healthy. You watch what I tell you.
I really like to agree with Pete on anything for nothing more, just I don't want to give Pete that nod. But the way this team is constructed, it can be in the argument for a Super Bowl run. Now, again,
Say it again. I'm telling you, man, say it again. This team has players. Now, we got a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure for some of the rookies, and we got a new defensive coach. But at the same time, we got some veterans on that defense too. And we're in a situation where the rookies don't have to come in and start. We just need them to contribute. I'm just telling us. What have I been telling y'all since last year? 2026, no later than 2027, they're going to be in the running. But you watch what I tell you. They're going to be in the running. I don't care what anyone says. You know, everybody wants to be, we want to err on the side of caution. Well, I'm going to err on the side of success. I'm sorry. I'm looking at what I'm seeing. Man, this team, they have constructed a very good team. I'm talking new attitude, owner/GM, front office, scouting department did a great job. Player acquisition, the draft, shoddy coaching staff, defense, coaching staff, players, draft, players who coming back, players who they acquired in free agency. They're putting together something special. I'm telling you, this team is going to surprise a lot of people.
All the health and a bunch of other different things have to come into the fold. But Brian Schottenheimer has done a heck of a job in addressing his staff, addressing his needs, and bringing in a guy like Christian Parker to run the defense, who's going to bring that Vic Fangio-esque style defense to the fold. With most offensive coordinators would tell you they hate playing a Vic Fangio defense, and it was smart on Schottenheimer's part to do that, because you're already facing that defense twice a year, and you know the trouble that it gives you. Now,
what did I tell y'all? Was I not telling y'all this before? He's saying the same thing I'm saying. Christian Parker was a godsend. Not only is he bringing the Dallas Cowboys defense into the modern age, but our offense will be better for it, because now we will be going up against the same kind of defenses that we are going to be facing all year long. We'll actually be ready for those defenses. Iron sharpens iron, rather than going against one of the worst defenses in football. Do y'all realize that didn't help this offense? We were literally going up against the worst defense in football. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens running wide open in camp. In practice, in camp. And we saw them do some great things during the season. But what happened when we started getting towards some of the tougher teams that play some of that similar style defense to Vic Fangio? We saw what we started stalling and we saw problems in the red zone because of those types of defenses. Well, now we got a defense that's going to be able to challenge the offense in practice, and that will take this offense to another level. Another level. Iron sharpens iron. And you need a good defense to help you out. You need a good defense to help you out. You really do.
Your offense gets to practice against it
Yes.
every day now, because that's what you're going to do. So
I said this
I
before.
truly believe that if these guys stay healthy, Dak in particular, because I do think, Tommy, I think there's a hole at the backup quarterback spot. I think if Dak stays healthy, this team can push, can make a nice run into February football, but Dak has to stay healthy.
All right, Rand, certainly appreciate you. Say hi to Ryan Wilson for me. Catch him on the With the First Pick podcast. They're doing a live show on CBS Sports Network talking tight ends. If you miss it, just scan the.
And I'm gonna tell you what's gonna make what's gonna help Dak Prescott stay healthy. I'm gonna tell you one of the things that's gonna help Dak Prescott stay healthy. Lining up under center. I said it the other day, I'm gonna say it again. Lining Dak Prescott up under center is going to extend Dak Prescott's career. It's going to extend its career. When you line up under center, and you have the ability of play action, Nate Newton said it best. If you can just make those outside edge rushers just delay for half a second, that's all you need. If you can make cornerbacks half a second, safeties, linebackers, half a second, if you can just stall them just a millisecond, they can't tee off. They have to wait, react, and then burst, rather than teeing off. The play action game, lining up under center, 11 personnel, the run game, all of the things that the Cowboys can do, it's going to extend Dak Prescott's career. Dak Prescott, praying, he just continues to stay healthy. But I think the way that they're going to be running this offense, I think it's going to help him stay healthy. Man, that play action helps. It really does. It don't mean you're not going to take some hits every now and then, but it helps. Bruce, not Wayne, appreciate that super chat. Good to see you back. Yeah, if Cowboys win Super Bowl, what Parsons going to think? He going to be crying. I can tell you what he going to be thinking. He going to be crying. He'll be crying. Let me see here. Yeah, real deal. We ready for that Cowboys football, man, for sure. Good to see you. Michael Postel, he says, Shotty, run the ball in the green zone, please. Yeah, they got to be a lot more efficient down there. A lot more efficient down there. But I think overall, man, this Cowboys team, I think they're on to something. Miss Matrix, what is going on? Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what we're going to see from the Cowboys this year. Very excited. Yeah, Michael Lee, yeah, practice will be game day and game day will be practice. Yeah, man, we finally get to play. We finally get to play against a defense that's going to sharpen us up. So I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Bruce said up under center has the danger of your O-line stepping on your foot. Just saying. Well, I hope that don't happen. Please don't let it happen. All right, so got another ESPN was also talking about that this morning. And this is going to transition us. They had a very good couple of segments. I want to transition us, but we're going to still, why didn't George Pickens get the extension? ESPN was talking about that. And then this, I don't know, I think this is like a AI channel. They were talking about some of this stuff. And this is going to lead us also into the Joe Mixon discussion. So this also is what they were saying about ESPN. Why George didn't get the extension.
Welcome back to Get Up. Moving to the NFL, where we're now just 2 days away from the first rookies reporting to camp. With that in mind, let's break down some of the biggest stories around the league. Very happy to welcome in this crew. We've got Louis Riddick, we've got Kimberly Martin, and we want to welcome Tom Pelissero to Get Up and ESPN this morning. Tom, today is deadline day for a franchise tag player to get a long-term deal. What's the latest you can tell us about George Pickens and the Cowboys?
Well, Peter, the deadline is 4 p.m. Eastern time today to do a multi-year deal, and the full expectation is that deadline will pass without a multi-year contract in place for George Pickens. These conversations really never progress beyond a preliminary fashion. The sides both were on different pages in terms of what the contract would look like. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones called Pickens agent David Mulugheta personally and told him, we're not going to get a deal done. So he's now set to show up and play on the tag. They were happy that he showed up to minicamp. He looks great physically. They expect they're going to get the best version of George Pickens in 2026.
It's so interesting. Louis, you've been in the front office, obviously. How about the way Dallas has approached this Pickens deal? What's your reaction to that?
Well, clearly, Peter, they feel as though the best version of George Pickens is the one that is hungry and trying to secure long-term financial stability in the form of a long-term contract. And they're just not comfortable going ahead and giving him financial security and signing into a long-term deal. And look, I guess you have to understand, where Dallas is coming from with this. They have more information than anyone else. They're the ones who were with him every single day last year. And look, they know he produced. They know that he had a heck of a season. They know that if he were to hit the open market, what he would command. They're just not comfortable going ahead and giving him the guaranteed money that he probably will get on the open market from some football team. To me, this sounds like a situation that is setting up for 2026 to be George's last season. George that last season in Dallas, George kind of realizes that, and that's why he said, hey, look, I'm going to sign a tender going here and just kind of rip it up this year and then let the chips fall where they may in the offseason in 27. There's really no other way to look at it.
He could hit the free agent market if that's the case,
Don't
but
think
he
it's
could
gonna
also
happen.
end up back in Dallas if things go right. What's your take on all of this?
My fear is that what Louis is saying is correct, that this could be his last year in Dallas. And so my first thought is, what was the point of trading for him? Because George Pickens is a young guy with a lot of talent, and that wasn't a team that was, one player away from winning a Super Bowl. You needed a couple years. And when I look at George Pickens, his price tag, if we expect him to have the type of year that the Cowboys expect him to have and we expect him to have, he's only going to get more expensive. Mm-hmm. And if they didn't feel comfortable with the guarantee money now, he plays well, he's going to command more money. Then where does that leave them? And that is my fear for a team that revamped its defense. And you're finally excited about the Cowboys pairing the offense and Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. If Pickens is not part of the future, I feel like we're taking one step forward to take two steps back.
Yeah, deadline day is today, but it's kind of a foregone conclusion on that one. Let's head out west. Tom.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you where I am on this. George Pickens will be a Dallas Cowboy next year, too. I don't believe it. George Pickens is going to be a Dallas Cowboy next year. I don't think the Cowboys traded for George Pickens, and now that they see what he is, and I think there's going to be a great chance the Cowboys are going to probably win at least one or two playoff games, could possibly go to the Super Bowl. I think we'll start having that conversation as we get further into the season. But again, if they do that, explain to me again, why would you let George Pickens go? It's not happening. I don't think it's happening. I do not think it's happening. George Pickens is going to be a Dallas Cowboy next year. And the longer the Cowboys draw this out, take it for what it's worth. The longer the Cowboys draw this out, when you look at the highest paid wide receivers in the league, This actually starts to look different once George Pickens hits that second. Once George Pickens hits that second tag, it's going to look a lot different. And the reason why I say that is when you look at, let me show you what George Pickens is. If the Dallas Cowboys were to franchise tag George Pickens again, I want to show you. Yeah, they can actually tag him 3 times, Jabril. Which I don't think they're going to do. I think he gets a deal next year. But if they were to do it, and this is why I say George is going to be here. If they were to give George Pickens $32 million, does anybody not realize that when you look, see, don't pay attention to the total guarantee. Total guarantee, this is roster bonuses and any other bonus you want to name. That's what the total guaranteed money is. And just like Shannon Sharp said, most players, they don't even see the total guaranteed money. Most players don't see that. The number you have to pay attention to is the fully guaranteed money. Do we not realize that if they were to franchise tag George Pickens next season, when you look at fully guaranteed money, that would put George Pickens somewhere in the top 5, top 7 paid players in the league? You're talking fully guaranteed money here. George Pickens in 2 years will surpass DK Metcalf's fully guaranteed money. He will be right up against CD Lamb. He will surpass Drake London's $52 million guaranteed. If George Pickens gets another franchise tag, George is literally top 5, top 6 paid in the league. Straight up. Straight up. With an average payout of $30 million per year. That's one more franchise tag if they choose to do that. I got a feeling that if that were to happen, you think about people who sign 4-year deals and they only get a fully guaranteed $60 million. And you're telling me George Pickens, one more go round, $60 million, and then would go out into the free agent market and tear that bank up. I don't think people understand something. I know guaranteed dollars matter. But in the grand scheme of things, I just want to give us a little bit more of this common sense stuff. Let's just say you were to go to the New York Jets. $90 million in New York is not $90 million in Dallas. $80 million in Pittsburgh isn't $80 million in Dallas. This is why CD Lamb, I think his contract is better than Justin Jefferson's. You're talking about Dallas versus Minnesota. I'm telling us, once George Pickens gets past this season, this is when George Pickens is going to start winning. He already winning, but he really going to start winning. George Pickens is about to break the bank, and I don't think people understand it, but I think who he's going to break the bank with is the Cowboys, because I don't think they're going to let him go anywhere. I think he's going to break the bank with the Cowboys. I absolutely do. So I don't think they gave up a 3rd-round pick and brought George Pickens in and then watch what they do this year, go to the playoffs and do all the things that they're probably going to do this year. And then you're going to say, let go of George Pickens. Don't see it. Don't see it. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I don't see it. Yeah, Michael Postel, ball out, get paid. Blakey, what's up? 007 Wilson, what up? Good to see you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Gwen Bowden, I saw you in here. What up, Gwen Bowden? How's everything going? Gwen Bowden, she said, I've been missing due to my brother-in-law passing. Oh, wow. Your brother-in-law passed on Sunday? Oh, wow. Prayers up. Prayers up. July 5th was your mom's birthday. Family getting ready for the brother-in-law going on Monday, July 20th. Prayers up. Yeah, you had a tough week. Tough week. Glad to see you. Appreciate you being here. Y'all make sure you send prayers up for Gwen Bowden. It's tough. Glad to see you. Glad to see you here. But again, I'm just loving a lot of things the Cowboys are doing. Y'all heard Bass? Bass said hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Yes. Hit that like button. All right, and again, Cowboys fans, I don't think the Cowboys are going I don't think George Pickens is going anywhere. Hey, somebody, I think it was you, who was asking me about the hat? You know, I've been showing my wife this hat right here, as a matter of fact, and she didn't like it. I was really thinking about getting a hat like this. I've noticed that Jamie Foxx wears his hat like this. Now, you folks who wear cowboy hats, if I'm not mistaken, this is merely a cowboy hat that hasn't been shaped. Am I correct on this? This is a cowboy hat that hasn't been shaped. And this is how Jamie Foxx wears his hat. And I really like this style. My wife didn't like it. My wife didn't like it, boy. My wife did not like it when I told her I was going to get my hat like this. Yeah, Mose Logan, that's why I came on early tonight, man. I'm going to Bible study. For sure. You know, somebody got to teach it, so it might well be me. Might as well be me, Cold Springs Church of Christ, if y'all want to check me out online tonight at 7 p.m. Yeah, this is the hat. You folks who wear cowboy hats, this is the hat I've been wanting to wear. Brady said that way you like a mega church. Boy, my wife said, no, don't do it. But Jamie Foxx has been wearing his hat like this, and I like the way that look. I think I'm going to get one like this. Bad said, yeah, it hadn't been steam shaped. So Jamie Foxx has been wearing his hat like this. What do y'all think? I think that's how I'm gonna get my cowboy hat done. Because I will be getting my cowboy hat here pretty soon. Let me see. See if I can show y'all the picture. Now, y'all know Jamie is from Texas. Right over there in Terrell, Texas. Close to the Metroplex. Terrell. He's from Terrell, Texas. Yeah, see, this is how Fox be wearing his hat, man. My wife can't stand it. And I said, I'm going to get my hat like this. What y'all think? Y'all know anybody else who wear their hat like this? What y'all think? Anybody else wear their hat like this? I'm thinking about wearing my hat like this. What you think, Miss Majors? What do you think about this hairstyle with Jamie Foxx? What you think? I really like this hat style. I really do. Bass said, take it to Jerry World to the hat store to have it shaped like you like. I want to leave it like Jamie Foxx wearing it. My wife said no. My wife said no. She said don't do it. Yeah, Marvin, it's a Cold Springs Church of Christ, Lancaster, Texas. My wife said no. What y'all think? I'm thinking about it. JP said do it as you please. Hey, I'm married. I try to have some compromise. But my wife, she said, no, don't do it. She said, don't do it. Yeah, I think I may get me one like this and then one shaped like a cowboy hat. I'm gonna get it like this and see how I like it. I'm gonna get it like this and see how I like it. I mean, when you're rich like Jamie Foxx, you wear your hat any kind of way you want to. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how you wear your hat when you're Jamie Foxx. You do what you want to do. But my wife said no. She said don't do it. All right, so let's see if I get one more segment in before I had to get out of here. So that means I'm gonna have to do Cowboys After Dark. Miss Matrix, I'm gonna try my best tonight. Cowboys After Dark. I'm gonna come back tonight, Cowboys After Dark, and see if we can do the rest of these subject matters. That Sax guy, you said you got one like this. Yeah, there will be blood. He said he wear my wife. He said no. Steven said get them red bottom shoes to go with it. You know what? I found me some red bottom shoes too, but I don't know if I'm gonna get those. Yeah, I don't want to be too fancy, but Matt said G. Osteen. Boy, y'all crazy. Boy, y'all got me rolling, boy. Yeah, man. But I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it hard. All right, let me get one more segment in, maybe even two. But this guy was talking about the same guy where I was showing this video, and I think some of y'all noticed the quality of that video. I think the reason why he did that is so he wouldn't get copyright struck. I mean, it looked like it came straight off a VCR tape. So we're gonna try it. I'm gonna play this part. He was talking about Joe Mixon to the Cowboys. And if y'all remember, I mentioned Joe Mixon to the Cowboys. And I really wonder if the Cowboys would consider Joe Mixon to the Cowboys. I really wonder if they would consider it. I think the culture is good enough. Now, I know Joe Mixon come with his own set of problems. Woo! He come with his own problems, but boy, if you could really get Joe Mixon to where he could do what's right, whew. Tell me what y'all think. This is what he said. This is AI. I hate the AI stuff, but I thought some of the stuff that was said in the video was cool. Y'all check this out.
Backs hit walls, games get ugly, weather changes, defenses adjust, and when everything tightens up, veteran running backs who can pass protect, catch the ball, run inside, and understand situational football become valuable. Mixon has been a Pro Bowl level player. He has carried heavy volume. He has produced in big moments. And if the medicals check out, if the contract is team-friendly, if the role is clear, then this is exactly the kind of move that can make Dallas more complete without forcing them to change the whole identity. But let's keep it real. The Cowboys cannot pay for the name alone. They cannot ignore the foot injury. They cannot act like 2024 production automatically means 2026 dominance. This has to be smart, incentive-heavy, low-risk, prove-it structure. Make him earn every bit of it. That is how contenders do business, not desperation, calculation, because the upside is real. A healthy Joe Mixon gives Dallas a veteran hammer. He helps Dak stay ahead of the chains. He makes play action nastier. He forces safeties to think twice. He gives Brian Schottenheimer another way to attack instead of letting defenses sit back and dare Dallas to be one-dimensional. And if Mixon comes in hungry, if he comes in with something to prove after missing a season, that kind of energy can spread. That is a man running like he wants his name back. That is a man lowering his shoulder like he's reminding the league, I'm not done yet. My final take is simple. Joe Mixon to the Cowboys should only happen if the health is right and the money is right. But if both boxes check, Dallas should absolutely consider it. Because this offense has stars. It has explosive weapons. It has a quarterback who can lead. Now add one more veteran back who can punish fronts, control the clock, destroy tired defenses, and help Dallas take over the NFC East with physical football. Cowboys Nation, now I need your voice. Would you bring Joe Mixon to Dallas as a veteran weapon next to Javonte Williams, or is the injury risk too much for you? Drop your opinion below, hit that like button if you want the Cowboys to build a tougher offense, and subscribe for more Cowboys news, rumors, and real Cowboys reaction. Because if Mixon ever puts that star on his helmet, the NFC East better get ready for a long, painful, physical afternoon.
Man, I'm telling y'all, hey, boy, Mixon healthy? Oh my gosh. Ooh-wee. I brought this up before. I would love to see Joe Mixon in camp. I would love to see Joe Mixon in camp. Man, Joe Mixon, hey, we all know, we're going to be real with it. Man, Joe Mixon got some thug in him. We all know it. we all know Joe Mixon got some thug in him. He can play some football. I mean, if he could come into Dallas and be a model citizen, shoot, boy. Man, I'd love... I brought this up before. Man, I would not mind seeing Joe Mixon. I'm going to be honest with you, Dallas Cowboy fans. I would not mind seeing Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is a nasty player. I would not mind seeing Joe Mixon. I really wouldn't. I really would not. Y'all tell me what you think. I'm actually laughing. I saw some people in there. I saw some people in the chat. Miss Matthew said, who is Joe Mixon? Somebody else said, who is Joe Mixon? Shoot. Yeah, man, I don't like that AI stuff, man. Blakey, I'm going to try to, it'll be midnight at the latest. But I think I'm going to try to roll with it. I see you, Miss Matrix. You feeling sorry for me now. Miss Matrix said, she said, G speaking. She said, I see you speaking into existence. Yeah, I see you. We gonna see. I see the little laughing emoji there because I'm laughing at myself because I'm gonna try hard. But I got some more great stories, man. I'm telling you, I went and scraped and scrounged. I got some great stories. But George Pickens is really the focal point of the day. I was really hoping for him. I was really hoping for him to get signed. Poopa D said we not gonna do it. Poopa D, for that, I'm gonna be up, man. I'm gonna be up. I'm definitely gonna be up. I'm gonna get up. We're gonna do midnight. Yeah, you know what, Bass? I agree with you. Joe Mixon at the house, Jaden Blue. Yeah. Yep. Jaden Blue can beat Joe Mixon. But hey, Mixon a little bit different though, man. Mixon ain't coming in wearing no Louis Vuitton cleats, bro. Mixon a little bit different. Mixon that dude to come in with them black Air Force Ones and some black cleats. That boy Joe Mixon different. But again, I'm pretty sure we're not. Just threw that out there. It's off season. What can I say? What can I say, man? I just threw it out there. All right, let's see if I can get one more in before my wife starts sending me messages saying it's time to go. And I gotta hear him run in there and put my super suit on. Let me see here. Oh, this guy Snowden. So the other day we saw a story where I think his name is Snowden. Snowden for the Dallas Cowboys got suspended. It came down that he was suspended for 3 games. I think that's what I saw the other day. And a lot of people were probably, and the thing is, it's really no drama. I know people were wanting it to be drama, and a lot of people tried to make it drama. But in the grand scheme of things, the thing with Snowden, Charles Snowden, see if we can pull up the story. The thing about Charles Snowden being suspended, I'm sure if I'm a betting man, unless I see something different in the article, haven't even really bothered to read it. If I'm a betting man, which I'm not, but I'm saying, I'm sure the Cowboys knew this was coming down. I'm sure they knew. Because this seems to be something that's stemming from 2024. The Charles Snowden issue. Charles Snowden. Suspended by the NFL for the first 3 games of the 2026 season. Outside linebacker Charles Snowden has been suspended by the NFL for the first 3 games, according to the league's Wire. Says the league released the following on Snowden's suspension. Charles Snowden, defensive end Virginia, has been suspended by the commissioner for the first 3 games of the 2026 season. He is eligible to participate in all preseason activities, including games. His suspension will take effect as of the roster reduction to 53 players. So basically, he's got to make the team. And if he doesn't make the team, then it'll be somewhere else. Shirley, what's going on? Good to see you, Seahawks fan. Aside from being able to fully participate in the training camp in Oxnard and Dallas, Oxnard as well as Dallas, 3 preseason games, Snowden will not be able to play for the Cowboys in the regular season until week 4. Says he signed with the Cowboys on June the 18th. Says he spent 2 years with the Raiders. Now, I'm not sure. I'm going to see if I can find what he was suspended for. But, again, I'm sure the Cowboys already knew. I'm sure they already knew that he was going to get suspended. Trying to see if I can find the reason here. See if I can go to the ESPN thing. Oh, here it is. ESPN, they're going to give it all to us. Says here the reason for Snowden's suspension was not stated, but he reached a plea agreement in January to resolve a DUI arrest from 2024 when he played for the Las Vegas Raiders. In January, Snowden, through his attorneys, pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor DUI charge and was ordered to pay a $1,000 fine and attend coroners and DUI courses. Snowden's charge will be reduced to reckless driving if he completes the terms of his plea agreement. The Cowboys signed Snowden as a free agent last month after a tryout at the team's minicamp. He had a career-best 3 sacks last season for the Raiders and recorded his first NFL interception in 15 games, including 9 snaps. Snowden, 28, has 4.5 sacks, 28 tackles, 33 games. 33 games during his career. So don't think this is a huge issue. I don't. Big nothing burger. Yeah, Poopy D, I'm with you, bro. How late can you be, man? How late can you be on this? And this is one of the reasons why, guys, I believe Terrion Arnold is going to play this year. I think somebody next year may be looking at Terrion Arnold may actually be suspended. But I believe Terrion Arnold is going to play this year. They'll wait until further down the line once everything kind of shakes down, and Terrion Arnold will be penalized next year. This is why I think he's going to play. Yeah, I'm laughing. Bass said Jerry Goodell been waiting to stick it to Jerry. Man, yeah. Boy, you ain't lying, Bass. Man, Zeke didn't even do anything and got, man. They know they should have been ashamed of themselves when they did to Zeke. Should have been ashamed of themselves for that Zeke stuff. And Jerry, boy, I'm tell you something. If this would have been young Jerry, Roger Goodell would have been gone. But this was old Jerry that wanted to get rid of Roger Goodell. It was old Jerry. Because I'm telling you, had it been young Jerry, Goodell wouldn't have made it. I'm telling you right now, Goodell wouldn't have made it. Jerry wanted to get rid of Roger Goodell over Zeke, man. And might have derailed Zeke's career a little bit. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, when you go back and look at Zeke, oh my gosh, Zeke could have been one of the best to ever do it, man. He could have been one of the best to ever do it. Just didn't take, I just think Zeke just didn't take the game serious enough as he got into his career. Played hurt, just all kinds of things. And I just think Zeke just didn't have it. Just didn't have it. Yeah, Baz, I think it was one of the things that started derailing Zeke. I really do. Yep, I agree with you. Didn't come back the same after that suspension. But boy, that first season for Zeke was incredible. Man, boy. And Zeke had some good years after that, but, you know, then injuries, and I think Zeke came back too early. And then we started seeing where Zeke wasn't really taking care of his body as well. I mean, there was a lot of things. I mean, Zeke, man, just went down. Quinn said the fact is it's so late, it's more proof they want to do everything they can do to hurt Dallas. Quinn, why didn't they do it when he was with the Raiders? Why didn't they do it when he was with the Raiders, man? I mean, I ain't tripping on them first 3 games, you know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping on them first 3 games. But you already know. You know what it is. Yeah, Goodell, he done got some credit for some things that Jerry has done too. That's a discussion for a whole nother day. All right, so tonight we're gonna come back. Cowboys After Dark, midnight. 4 more topics. Mina Kimes Power Ranks. Jason Garrett, Rich Eisen. Ooh, I'm gonna show y'all something on the top 100 players that's gonna blow y'all mind. And then, where do the Cowboys coaches rank in the top 20 coaches? Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. We had to come early on this Wednesday. Y'all know I teach Bible on Wednesday. We're gonna get back to our regular time on Thursday. Get back to around 4:30. Probably gonna try to do 4. Plan on having a real good show tomorrow. But man, appreciate y'all rocking with me. Best chat on YouTube. We're gonna be back tomorrow. More Cowboys news. But for y'all who like to stay up late at night, I'm gonna see y'all at midnight tonight on Cowboys After Dark. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.